The federal government was barreling toward a shutdown Friday afternoon as a last-ditch meeting between President Trump and the Senate's top Democrat produced no resolution, and a senior Republican signaled a showdown vote would occur within hours. Facing a midnight deadline, Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer D.N.Y. said he and Trump made some progress in a private meeting about keeping the government open but did not strike a final deal. "We still have a good number of disagreements," Schumer told reporters at the Capitol upon returning from the White House. "The discussions will continue." Senate Majority Whip John Cornyn of Texas said there would be a vote to end debate on the House bus spending bill in the late afternoon or early evening. View graphic. Everything you need to know about a government shutdown. Republicans are insisting on a 4-week funding extension that includes a 6-year authorization for the Children's Health Insurance Program and delays several healthcare taxes. Democrats have called for a funding extension for several days that would allow more time for negotiations over the legal status of immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children, known as dreamers. Cornyn dismissed the notion of a days-long funding bill as an absurd idea. He said if Schumer met with Republican leaders to work on an agreement, there was a chance a shutdown could be avoided. Not all Senate Democrats oppose the one-month bill. Sen. Joe Donnelly IND, who faces re-election in a state that supported Trump in 2016, announced his support in a Senate floor speech. "It's the most basic duty of Congress to keep our government running," he said. Trump and the Republicans, who control all levers of government, face the possibility of a shutdown on the first anniversary of his inauguration. According to a new Washington Post-ABC News poll, Americans by a 20-point margin blame Trump and the GOP over Democrats if the government closes. House members were advised to remain in Washington on Friday in case of additional procedural votes. The Schumer-Trump meeting had set off alarms among congressional Republicans. Neither Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell RKY, nor House Speaker Paul D. Ryan RWIs, who resolved Friday morning to stand firm in their support of the House bill, attended the White House meeting. Schumer returned to the Capitol and met with House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi D. Kalof, and Senate Minority Whip Richard J. Durbin Dill, for over an hour. Republicans on Capitol Hill said White House aides assured them that no private deal will be struck between Trump and Schumer. As Senate Republicans remain short of the 60 votes needed to advance the bill to fund the government through Feb. 16, McConnell dared a political salvo on the Senate floor, saying Democrats had been led into a «box canyon» by Schumer. By late Thursday, 9 Senate Democrats who had voted for a short-term spending bill in December said they would not support the latest proposed extension. They joined 30 other Democrats and a handful of Republicans in opposing the bill. Sen. Jeff Flake Rares said late Thursday that he was not inclined to vote for a short-term spending measure because leaders did not keep their promise to hold a vote by the end of January on legal protections for young undocumented immigrants. On Friday morning, he said he preferred Democrats' proposal of a mini-funding extension to allow more time for negotiations, an idea GOP leaders rejected Thursday. Office of Management and Budget Director Mick Mulvaney said he put the odds of a shutdown at 5,050. He said that he was instructing federal agencies to prepare for the possibility and that they would be granted more flexibility to move money around to continue services. Mark Short, Trump's Director of Legislative Affairs, said that the effort by Democrats to put an immigration fix in the bill was unreasonable, given that legislative text has not been drafted and the program doesn't expire until March. There's no DACA bill to vote on, and there's no emergency on the timing. Short said. A government shutdown causing employee furloughs has never occurred under unified party control of Congress and the White House. The Trump administration is drawing up plans to keep national parks and monuments open despite a shutdown as a way to blunt public anger, and while the military would not cease to operate, troops would not be paid unless Congress specifically authorizes it. The last shutdown, in 2013, lasted for 16 days as Republicans tried unsuccessfully to force changes to the Affordable Care Act. On Jan. 30, Trump is scheduled to dare his State of the Union address. In a sign of the preparations on Capitol Hill, congressional staffers received formal notice Friday morning that they may be furloughed starting at midnight. Individual lawmakers will have to determine which aides have to report for work during the impasse. As senators awaited news about possible votes, the White House prepared to delay Trump's departure for his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida until after a short-term spending bill is passed. The president had intended to leave Washington late Friday afternoon ahead of a lavish celebration of his first year in office that is planned for Saturday night. With the House scheduled to be out of session next week, several leaders have planned trips abroad. Vice President Pence will travel to Israel and Egypt, Ryan will visit Iraq, and House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy Calif. And House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows RNC, will accompany Trump to the World Economic Forum in the Swiss resort village of Davos. McCarthy spokesman Matt Sparks said the Davos trip would be cancelled in the event of a government shutdown, but that did not stop Pelosi from criticizing the trip. Every year the Republicans plan the January schedule so that they can go to Davos. They want to spend next week hobnobbing with their elitist friends instead of honoring their responsibilities to the American people, she said. Sean Sullivan and John Wagner contributed.